All right, I have 6:30. I'm going to call to order our Board of Aldermen regular meeting for Monday, March 16th. Roll call, please.
Alderman Orsini, Alderman Hudson,
Present.
Alderman Wilkins,
Present.
Alderman Decker,
Here.
Alderman Rogers,
Present.
Alderman Magley.
Yeah.
All right, we want to everyone stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. That moves us to our item 4 of special presentations, and that would be for a proclamation recognizing our Centralia High School wrestling team back to back. It's pretty impressive. What I'll say before I read the proclamation is this. I think one of the things that I really take a great pride in Centralia, period, when it comes to our schools, it comes to our athletes, whether it's quiz bowl, whatever it is, we do it, and how we do it is what I consider excellence looks like. Because as you take a path and you as a team and you wrestle individually, as a team win championships and the things that we do here, it's about how you go about that journey and how do you get there. There's a right way and a wrong way to get everywhere. So I think we do that, and I think that's exemplified by the leadership we have in the schools, in the administration, the teachers, the coaches, and all the folks that do that. So another thing I'll tell you, young men and the ladies that will listen to, or anybody that needs, thank your mothers, your grandparents, your fathers, your family, the people that helped you all through your career and your life, support you, because I know what it is to get up at 5 in the morning to go to a wrestling tournament in Kids Club. I understand what it's like to go to the tournaments and do all that kind of stuff, the dieting, that kind of thing. That's a little easier now because I think you can only drop so much, and that makes it maybe a little easier for coaches. I don't know. But anyway, I know a little bit about what it takes to get somewhere, and I think the greatest pride you should take is they can't take away what you've accomplished, but I think even more so, you young men and coaches and staff and faculty and people within our schools should take great comfort and pride without being boastful of how we go about what we do. So thanks for what you do. Okay, so I'm going to read this now. Office of the Mayor, Chris Cox, Mayor. Whereas the Centralia High School boys wrestling team has demonstrated extraordinary dedication, perseverance, and sportsmanship throughout the 2025-2026 season. Whereas head coach Luke Gramke, assistant coaches, staff, families, and supporters have provided unwavering guidance and encouragement that helped make the championship possible. Whereas the Panthers' relentless pursuit of victory, their ability to overcome challenges, and their grit and determination earned the team the Clarence Cannon Conference Wrestling Championship and sent 8 members of the team to the Class 1 Wrestling Championships and 5 members earning medals. And whereas the Centralia Panther recent Class 1 Misha State Wrestling Team Championship victory, the 3rd championship in 4 years, and sent with Rex Bryson earning a back-to-back individual Missouri State title, has brought immense pride and joy to the citizens of Centralia, and whereas Centralia, Missouri, and whereas the accomplishment of these student athletes brings great honor and recognition to the Centralia High School and the entire city of Centralia, inspiring younger generations to pursue excellence both on and off the mat. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor of Centralia, Missouri, hereby proclaims the Centralia High School wrestling team as a symbol of our community's pride and commend them for their outstanding achievement and sportsmanship. In witness hereof, I have underhand set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Centralia to be affixed this 16th day of March 2026. So congratulations to you guys and coaches and everybody. So it's not to put any pressure on you, but 3 out of 4 years is starting to sound like a program that might be a dynasty. So I think you're building something that's unbelievably great. But I've known you for a long time, and I think what's extremely great is how you went about it, and you brought that to these young men, boys, making them young men, and getting them ready for, I think, life. I think that's a key thing what we do, is just to learn how to get up, keep going, persevere, those kind of things. I'd like for all of you guys to come up. I know you're all shy, but let me tell you, if you didn't make it to state, okay, you didn't get there. You are the toughest, but I understand it, right?
Oh, tough.
So if you got out of there, you were almost, you were medal bound almost. I mean, because it was a lot of good wrestlers got left out of the deal because of where y'all come from. So big achievement to get through that, and then keep your mind and do what you did there. But it takes a whole team. It takes the other guy wrestling you those days and working you hard to make sure you're ready when you get on the mat and you have the conditioning and you have the skill set to be where you need to be. So it takes all of you guys working together. So it's not you helped some of these folks get where they got. No question, as a team. Okay? So I want all you guys to come up. I'm going to force you to do that. I'd like for you all to line up across here. Coach, you'll probably have to stand in the very front.
Is that a short joke?
Not really. The 103 is in the front. What again? 103 is got you to make it.
Hey, you got to stagger it a little bit.
Yeah. Put some of the three back there.
We're just going to hear it all. You
You can get in there. And then get a shot of these guys right here.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. One more just to be on the safe side. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Excellent, guys. That's what it is. There goes Terry. Absolutely. Great job. Well done.
Hey, are you all still in waiting? I shouldn't have said that.
Not anymore. You're one looking like, man, I can't even make another way.
six pounder about 3 days later with 122.
Yeah, that happens.
So he's close.
All right, thank you. All right, that moves us to item 5, comments from citizens. At this time, I'll take comments from citizens. Please state your name and your residence. If you'd like to, yes.
Hi, Teresa Olmis at 441 South Collier Street. I know you know all what I'm here for. I've been here for 8 months in a row, except for Christmas, and I emailed during that when we were at the Scout Christmas party. The first 2 months that I had come, I asked for a hooded light at the corner of Sims and Rollins, and I did receive a letter from you October 23rd that they couldn't do that. And then the last 6 months, I've been here just asking a real simple thing. And I've even been willing to pay for it. Would they please lower the head of the light at the corner of Sims and Rollins? It's only like 5 or 6 feet. I don't have a ladder. I can get up there and measure it. Just to the bottom level of the wire so that it doesn't shine into my porch 300 feet, 297 feet away. And I haven't received any letter as to why that cannot be done or won't be done. And it's just asking if you would please do it. I'd appreciate that very much.
Okay, thank you. We don't usually respond during comments from citizens now, but we do have we have researched this even further. At this point, I'll let you, Tara, talk about the height of the light and the requirements that we can't, and actually it should be raised, so, potentially.
So there's regulations, because we share the light poles. There's communication lines, and there's regulations that keep the power lines away from communication lines, and there has to be a certain amount of distance, and that light is at or near the lowest part that it can be at, and to meet standards, we actually need to raise it 6 inches when we went in there and did the research on that particular light.
So we did research it very closely to see what the options were, and then we found that our hands are tied of doing anything with the light.
We actually went through, it was about a month ago, where we had a communications group come through where they were working on some of the poles and some of their lines, and our electric crews had to go out and service, I don't have the number at the top of my head, but several poles to raise lights and our equipment because they were in their range for their communications. And
Is there any way that light can be moved to the next pole west?
The light's not going to be moved. It's not going to be moved any which direction, up or down or shrouded. It's a safety situation. It's placed in proximity to have cast an area of lighted of light cast. So that's where we're at on the light.
Can I ask why nobody was worried about it the first 2 summers I lived here? There was no light there at all. Maybe the fixture was there, but it was not in operation.
I do not know the answer to that. As far as I know, the light was working. I know that the light bulbs were changed, but I mean, our crews worked during the day, so if a light was out and it wasn't reported, then that could explain why it was not working. I can't see that it was out for 2 summers though.
Well, I lived there those 2 summers and it wasn't there until the last week of July.
All right, thank you for your comments, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
That moves us to item 6, it's a consent agenda. Before we get started on the rest of
I'd like to make a motion, we strike the closed session from our agenda.
absolutely. Second. Thank you.
Didn't want to forget that.
That's what I was thinking of, so thank you. I have a first and second. Due to the fact that we don't have anything for the closed session at this time, we're taking it off and letting everybody know now. So I have a first and second to change the agenda to strike the closed session. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Stands corrected. That moves us to the consent agenda. Board of Aldermen meeting minutes, Public Works and Utilities Committee meeting minutes, General Government and Public Safety Committee meeting minutes, Planning and Zoning minutes, Collector's Report, Activities Report.
Move we accept the consent agenda as published.
Second. I have a first and second that we accept the accounts payable over $1,250. No. Golly. I'm here. I'm in a hurry. I apologize. I only got to drive 3 hours. So anyway, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda is approved. Consent agenda. Now, accounts payable over $1,250. I would entertain a motion to approve accounts payable over $1,250 for $567,531.43.
I move that we accept the accounts payable over $1,250 for a total of $567,531.43.
Second.
First and second to approve the accounts payable of $1,250 for $567,531.43. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It passes. Thank you. That moves us to item 7, finance. Discussion 220, the 26-27 budget, draft budget.
So the draft budget is in the packet. Does anyone have any questions over what you've looked at, or any suggestions, or just questions in general on what we've discussed?
A couple things I looked for were there, and then just based on our conversations, I didn't read every page, I'll be honest.
But there's a few.
It was easy to read. You did a good job, I think. It changed a little bit from last year, didn't it?
No, not
About the same
not
format?
much. Yeah.
The line removal was there. I couldn't find these things.
So the line removal was in, it's listed out separately on the capital projects page in the water department.
Okay. Yeah. I think one thing that's helped is communication earlier and more often about the budget has been helpful for us to be aware of certain things that were conflict or challenge, or I think that's helped us. So I think we as a board are much more in tune with where we're at and where we're going. And this is what, the 3rd year you've done that? 4th year?
This is my 4th budget.
Yeah,
Yes.
4th budget year, right? So, and I think that I think the pre-work that you've done has been very helpful. Started earlier on with this first year, really, of starting to work with the departments early on, and then earlier and earlier as we go along. So I think that's been helpful as well,
Thank you.
of being where we want to be.
I know you had received a question about the economic development money that was set aside.
Yes.
Did you get that answered? Or did you
I did get that answer. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I appreciate it. Yep.
And there's money included for cutting trees.
Yes. Got that in the electric budget and general revenue budget. It's after public safety.
Do you dream about the budget at night? Sometimes?
Yep.
Oh, it's a fair question to ask.
There we go. Yes, so, new cents. Okay, I lied. No, I didn't. It's in here somewhere. It's not the place where I thought it was. I want to be able to say the number. Almost there. It's in the Public Works Department. 175,000 out of the general fund, and it's in 01319 on page 87. Well, or 58, depending on how you look at it. That's not confusing at all.
58 is the budget, 87 in the packet.
There we go.
That's exactly right.
But I did budget the same amount that we did budget for this year. And we'll probably look at not just tree removal this year, since Brent was able to get so many of the really dangerous trees down. We'll look at also pruning and salvaging what trees we can.
Other budget discussion. With none, I will move on to item 9. 9 under legal would be bill number 2609. This is the authorization of take-home police vehicles.
I would like to offer an amendment to this. I just feel that 30 miles is excessive to allow. I would offer, when I realize, some of the discussions, it was said that we wanted to reward some of the staff for past loyalties we've had during difficulty times, and I appreciate that. I would like to make the radius 20 miles, exempt present staff from that. The future staff would be held to that. And then we'll see whether 20 miles gets us what we need in future recruitment or not. We don't know that we need 30 miles.
The problem is, I think 20 miles still cuts out the majority of Columbia, which would probably be one of our largest polls for potential candidates, living-wise.
Well, my concern is that if you exempt current staff, somebody can move 50 miles. Like, they can move farther away than they currently are residing now.
No, they can't move further away.
Well, you'd have to make that very...
I think I would say we just go with the 30. Because that keeps most of Columbia in. And probably includes Moberly, Mexico. So it gets us all the. It gives us a very solid poll.
Oh yeah, it's almost Albina.
Yeah, but it gives us a very
to me,
solid
it's
poll.
too much.
If we get into this 2 or 3 years and we have to fine tune this or something, we can adjust it if it gets to be a problem. We can do things.
Be easier to raise it than it will be to lower it.
Well, later, if we choose that we want to lower it for the general population, we could grandfather anybody who's employed at their current residence and do a lower
Shilbon is
distance.
52 miles.
Huh?
Shilbon is 52 miles.
Okay, so
Right
that's
here.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Moberly.
It gets you,
Columbia
includes
would be-
almost, it gets you to almost Benton City, over there to Moberly, all of Moberly to the other side, and into Columbia to the south side of Columbia even. You don't quite get into Ashland, but it does go about, it gets into the school district of Ashland.
It gets the majority of Columbia, which is the largest population base in the area.
How many officers do we have from Columbia?
None.
None?
Correct.
Okay.
It's not going to get you Moberly either.
No?
First exit of Moberly is 29 miles from right here.
It actually will. This is your radius. You can draw a radius around it. So this is the circumference of what you're going to cover.
Probably goes off city limits, you think?
It's actually from City Hall.
From city limits?
That's where I dropped the 30-mile pin.
So, I have, are you gonna make a motion of
I'll
that?
make a motion.
For an amendment to, it's being specified at 30 miles to 20, grandfathered in the folks. Do I have anybody do I need a second for it? No second? Then that motion dies.
I'll move that we give bill number 2609 its first reading by title only.
Second.
I have a first and a second to give bill number 2609 its first reading by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. First reading, please.
An ordinance of the City of Centralia, Missouri adopting a take-home patrol vehicle policy for the Centralia Police Department, approving said policy as a rule and regulation of the Police Department, authorizing implementation and administration of the policy, and providing for an effective date. I move that bill number 2609 be given its second reading by title only.
Second.
I have first and second that bill number 2609 be given its second reading by title only. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Second reading, please.
An ordinance of the City of Centralia, Missouri adopting a take-home patrol vehicle policy for the Centralia Police Department, approving said policy as a rule and regulation of the Police Department, authorizing implementation and administration of the policy, and providing for an effective date. I move that bill number 2609 be adopted by roll call vote.
Second.
I have a first and a second that bill number 2609 be adopted by roll call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It passes. Roll call vote, please. Marilyn?
Alderman Hudson,
4.
Alderman Wilkins.
4.
Alderman Deckard,
No.
Alderman Rogers,
4.
Alderman Magley.
Yeah.
All right, bill number 2609 passes. Ordinance number,
3236.
thank you. That moves us to legal, would be bill number 2610, which would be an ordinance for the water line easement. Any discussion about it? Anything that needs to be clarified for anybody?
So Matthew did include an explanation for what this is for in the area. If any of you have any questions, Matthew worked with John Borman, and he's actually here so we could ask him questions also if you have any specific questions on why that was needed and why it was moved.
You don't have the easements yet. You don't have the easements yet.
They're not signed.
Well, right, so they're in here to be approved, to be accepted, and then we'll get them signed by all of you. Or the owners, right?
Well, yeah, normally you don't accept the easements until after they've been signed by the owner. Doesn't really do anything to approve them in advance.
Well, that's a good point.
So those
So I guess
2610
maybe
need
we're
to be
gonna-
tabled.
Right, so I guess we're gonna table them.
2610 and 2611 both, correct?
I move that we table bill number 2610 and 2611.
We'll be postponing, the motion need to postpone until, do you want to bring it up at the next meeting?
Yes.
Are they signing those soon, Don?
The 26th,
I've gotta get the owner back up here,
Okay.
the 26th.
because the last time I had to explain it to him.
We'll talk about
Yeah,
that too.
we'll
It
back
may
it up,
arise, I'll bring it
form
to,
out,
and then we'll talk about that. So
Gotcha.
at the next,
I'm hoping.
so I need a motion for the next meeting, next board meeting.
Table puts it
I'll
in
amend
this
my
one.
motion that we will address these at our next board meeting.
You think by the next meeting?
I'm hoping so, yes.
Okay,
Second.
alright, thank you.
Have
I'm
first,
hoping the next regular board meeting, not your
Right,
special one.
yeah, not the 26th.
okay, gotcha.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so I have a motion to table, postpone 2610, 2611, B and C until the next general board meeting.
He seconded.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that is tabled. Thank you.
So what's it for? The easements? What are they for?
Moving the, so the water easement on the backside of the property is just kind of out there, and it's gonna inhibit where they can build on those properties. So they are paying to move that water line. Am I saying that correctly, Don?
They're paying, the city's paying a portion of it, and because the city's upgrading the line from a 4-inch line, but it right now runs right behind the house through the middle of the property. And they wanna put it up on the north property line.
On property line instead of through the property.
And then he's selling off the east 3 acres of it, and they want a sewer line easement for the church, along the, adjacent to that 3-acre piece that he's selling. Because we think that presently the White House up there, that the sewer runs under the house, Ernie Ferguson's house, brick house. Nobody knows for sure where it runs.
All right. Apologize. That moves us to old business. This is old or news business. They kind of go together. Old would be, we need to set a date for a special meeting for close of the year, which I would propose that the 26th, March 26th would be that date at 6:30.
Is that Monday?
Thursday.
Thursday.
We're trying to get as far as we can for anything that might come up.
That would be our normal, real quick meeting. I think, approve the budget and any last minutes accounts payable.
Yep.
I think.
We may have a couple resolution ordinances on there, but they'll be pretty small.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
First and second to move the set a date for the special board meeting of Aldermen meeting for March 26th, Thursday at 6:30 p.m. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We have set the date. Now,
We
Mayor.
get letters out this week, last week?
No. They
What
will
do
be
we
going
get?
out tomorrow morning. They'll be in the mail.
Okay.
So now that moves us to mayor appointments. A, my first appointment is to appoint Ian Natch to the Centralia Fire Department. I'll entertain a motion for that.
Would you like to make that conditional upon passing pre-employment testings?
Yes, absolutely.
Depending on what?
Pre-employment physical screenings. Those have not been scheduled.
I'm sorry.
I move that we appoint Ian Natch to the Centralia Fire Department pending his pre-employment.
Second.
The first and second to appoint Ian Natch to the Centralia Fire Department based upon his passing the background and pre-employment requirements. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Welcome aboard, Ian Natch.
Are you Ian?
No.
No? Okay. Just
That moves me to B, appoint Mariah Littrell to the library board to fill the remainder of Larry Dorman's term.
So moved.
Second.
Have a first and a second to appoint Mariah Littrell to the library board to fill the remainder of Larry Dorman's term. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. So, she is appointed. That moves us to 12, our city administrator.
So, my report's in the packet. I will tell you, been mostly working on the budget this past month. I also had the joy of getting COVID, so I was down for almost a week, but working from home on this. And also with our new software coming on board in September, that's really ramping up, and Marilyn and I have been in meetings at least twice a month,
Twice a week.
So they've been, it's a pain at the moment, but we think that it's really going to help us when this actually gets implemented, since they've got our information and how we work, that it's going to be a smooth transition. That is the hope. So we'll see how it goes.
Fully confident, right?
Certainly.
Not fully, but considering we operate a lot of our functions out of spreadsheets and Word documents right now, this will bring a lot of that to where we actually have software to handle a lot of these things, and we'll hopefully, once we learn it, knock down some of our procedures and shorten lengths of time on things.
All implementations are painful to some degree, just a lot less than others. Still, the bottom line is, if it's going to give us the benefit that we need, it's worth the pain.
Yeah.
Right?
And the anxiety you're feeling, as long as they're working with you through the process and answering your questions, the anxiety you're feeling is very normal. My team does part of the implementations of all this stuff. Very normal.
All right. Any other questions, thoughts, discussion for our city administrator? Okay, that'll move us to our city attorney.
So I need to get a feeling from the board on setting a date for administrative hearings. So Terra's going to be sending out letters regarding residences that don't have utilities active and other nuisance violations for dangerous buildings. And so I think tentatively she and I were discussing about setting this on the May 18th Board of Aldermen meeting date. The reason I need to start nailing down a date is when we have to provide notice to the affected property owners of a potential, a nuisance hearing proceeding against them. And number two, need to procure a hearing officer for that setting for that night, and also to make sure everyone understands that may be a fairly busy night and what to expect. So you all discuss, but kind of need an idea. Do you want to set it during a regular Board of Aldermen meeting? Do you want to set it during a night where it's committee meetings? Do you want to have a completely separate date that isn't committee meeting or the Board of Aldermen meeting, but it would need to be in the month of May? Or a few holidays to kind of traverse around in there. So
Is it possible to do it in May for the committee meetings? Potentially.
Yeah, they tend to be
shorter. So my point would be, that's why I say that. And we're here. I would rather not add another day for people to have to arrange from work and their jobs and things, right? So.
Yeah, so May 11th.
Yep.
So we'd have the meeting and then the hearing?
Directly to follow.
Do you know how many letters are going out?
3.
The household, the ones that are going to be called into the hearing.
3.
3? Okay, sorry.
yeah, and they may fix their issues prior to the hearing. Either take action. So you may end up having 3. You may end up having 1 or none. You never know. But at least we'll have a date on the books.
Yeah. I like the idea of May 11th because
It's definitely, and then when we get into debating in a general meeting, it can turn into something that we thought was pretty straightforward, but could end up being an extra half hour, 45 minutes, and then we'd be getting into that. So, out of respect for the people that need to show up too, as well, I think that the earlier for us and the folks that would be involved, it'd be better, probably. That or a separate date, but I just seem to have a separate date we can keep running.
So does it sound like we
So
have
is
a
everybody
consensus,
okay
yeah?
in general with the 11th then?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the earliest we can do it.
I guess it is. Is that the earliest we can do it?
Part of the delay is you have to get a hearing officer, and your hearing officer is likely coming from a law firm that represents your prosecutorial services. In between giving them the statutory required notice to cure, or, to fix the problem, plus getting a hearing officer here, we do have to look at May.
Okay.
So that'd be the quickest we could go.
And we can determine if there's added that need to be added
If we fit within that time frame, because we do have to require, we do.
No, I
have to-
understand. That's what I'm saying.
If
I mean, it
there's-
had to be a decision that had to be made the next couple of days, but we'll have it by the end of this week, but we can have a discussion about that.
Right.
We'll kind of review that list, okay, and make sure that because if we're gonna have a hearing officer here
And a court reporter.
and a court
Yeah,
reporter,
we might as well do it
I'd
once.
just soon get my money's worth.
Yeah.
So you want all
And
of
let's
these
line them
Friday.
up and shoot it,
Might
shoot it
as well do
down.
them all.
That's what I'm saying, and if
We're
we're
here
here
till
till 11
1 or 2
o'clock at
o'clock
night,
in the
then
morning, we're here till 1 or 2.
we'll do it, but I mean, the last time we did this, we got then real action from people when we brought up that we were gonna do something, or they had to do something, they had an administrative hearing brought to them. Actions that get followed through brings reactions from people and more attentiveness that you're serious, so I'd just seen us get our money's worth of the night together, right? We'll all be together and just be,
Well, it'll be more than 3 then.
that's what I
It might
thought.
be 20 to 30.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Hold 'em up.
Don will be excited.
Give or take.
I need help. Keep this Bible straight.
Well, a lot of them could do stuff.
A lot of them would mitigate it.
Yeah.
If you've got 4, 2 to 3 at least will mitigate before you get there typically. I mean, they don't want to go through the process, so, because what we're asking for.
Last time we set up nuisance hearings, they all got abated before we had the hearing and canceled it, so.
Last time before that, I think we had, 2 actual
Three.
hearings go with the
Yeah,
3?
2 or 3.
It was
were actual
free.
hearings. We had
It's quite
about half a dozen or more on the
But
initial
interesting.
list, and we only had 2 or 3 we
Yeah.
actually had to talk about.
we had, I think we had 6 and,
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, then that's what we recommend you go ahead and move forward with it that way, and then we'll talk, by Friday.
Okay.
I'll be back Thursday, and we can get together and go through that list together.
Yep.
Okay.
That's for me.
All right, that,
Until we get down to the discussion.
oh, yeah, okay, down here, discussion, okay. Our city clerk.
Well, in addition to, like Tara mentioned, all of the BSNA discoveries, training sessions, year-end, fiscal year and activities going on. We also, maybe this has been brought up, but I can't remember, sorry. Been working with MIRMA, and we had a recent annual evaluation, inspections. And we worked really hard this past year to get policies updated, safety manual, other procedures, things that have been lax, kind of left behind. So I think our highest score was 89, and we were able to increase that to 97%
Nice.
this year. So
Wow.
Great job.
we're pretty happy about that.
Well, that's increased,
I wanted 100. I was going for 100, but
Marilyn worked very hard
we'll get there.
staying on everybody. She did a really good job.
We'll get there.
Well, celebrate that too amongst the team, right? It's had to change what they were doing or how they were doing it and everything too as well. I mean, we always dwell on the negative stuff, but that's a great improvement.
Yeah.
That's a great improvement,
Yeah.
because it gets harder and harder the higher you get.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll do better next year then. Election is in 3 weeks. And one other quick thing, I got a flyer on Auburn Municipal Law has a city officials training seminar. Several sites, the closest is Fulton. I think it's a Friday, it's May the 1st, 8 to 2-ish. It's a pretty good topic, so the cost is only $35. So if anybody is interested in information, let me know, and I'll get it to you, get you registered. Overview of government, fundamental city business, social media, First Amendment, finances, ethics, contracts, sunshine law, etc.
I've been to their trainings before. They're good
They
trainings.
do the new officials
Yeah.
training, right, too?
That's really what that's tied to.
That's
is
really
it.
tied to the,
Yeah.
that's good training.
I'm
That's
gonna go to
good.
that then.
Huh?
The new
I think you're
officials,
good at that.
yeah, elected officials is in June. There's always that's a 2 day
That's their
at least.
MML.
Yeah.
If you're interested, let me know.
Got it. Duly noted. You might send that email, you might email everybody out,
Okay.
but you know what I'm saying? That would be good to do. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Thanks for what you're doing. Celebrate that 97%. Discussion regarding Missouri income tax bill number 2026.
Yeah, so it's brought to my attention that I think one of the alderpersons said possibly recommended that the board consider, drafting a resolution, taking a position on, was it Alderman Orsini?
It was Alderman Orsini, yes.
So, about taking a position on the state income tax rollback bills that are pending before, well, now it's in front of the Senate. So, initially I hadn't seen any chatter through MML about this. I mean, it's out there. I mean, I think more people in the lay people are talking about the elimination rollback of income tax, but there was not really anything out there about how would that impact local municipalities. And in fact, at first I was like, I haven't heard anything, and I was looking through and decided to, because I was in the midst of passing a kidney stone, decided I might as well dig into the tax. I might as well dig into income tax while I'm up resting. And so I did a deep dive in both of these bills and did an analysis, and I was actually fairly surprised with what I found in terms of some of the most recent amendments that have been added to these bills moving forward that came out perfected from the House and are moving forward in the Senate side. And so I've outlined those in the memo. Chief among them is, while the state may be able to expand the sales tax basis after the income tax is rolled back and eliminated, the cities can take advantage of that expanded tax base. However, they have to then offset that sales tax expansion somewhere else. And so whether you roll back personal property tax, real estate tax, tax somewhere else, you cannot get both the expanded tax base coming in from sales taxes as a city without reducing other areas.
So they're supposed to stay flat essentially on your revenue.
The city, that's, yes, thank you, that's exactly. So you would be basically locked in at whatever you're at once this goes through. So August 28th, I think, is the effective date for this bill. And I would assume that means that it would take effect, you would lock in January 1st of 2027. That's my assumption. They are still working out that mechanism. But you would lock in at what you're at 2027. And at least on the sales taxes side, you can't, that's it, that's what you have. Now, if you raise your sales tax rate, you can take advantage of that. So right now, you guys are at 1%, correct? So if you rose up and got your sales taxes up to 2%, whether it passes time or something else, you can take advantage of that. But you can't take advantage of, let's say the state expands sales taxes on attorneys, which is actually going to come. So all of your service providers, your doctors, your lawyers, your nurses, your dentists will all be charging you sales tax now, because the income tax will be eliminated, and they have raised the exemption on sales tax being charged by service providers. So all of your service providers, those are the big ticket bucket items, will be charging sales taxes now. I'm passing that on to you as the consumer. So even though the city might be getting revenue from your doctors, lawyers, dentists, folks you typically don't get sales tax from, you then have to offset it from another place.
And the individual taxpayer that reaps the benefit of not having a state income tax seems great, but then by the time you go to the doctors and everything else, it's made up. Out of your pocket probably.
And also there's been a discussion, and I can't eliminate this because I asked for clarification from one of the state Senate drafting offices. It's ambiguous enough at this point, and when I brought it to the attention of the drafter, they were a little stumped and said, I need to get back to you, which always makes me wonder if I didn't find something. It's possible that this could also impact sales taxes on real estate. And what I mean is you don't pay sales taxes on real estate right now.
Holy bucket.
But it's a distinct possibility that moving forward you will be paying sales taxes on real estate. And that is definitely not excluded from this bill. It has been discussed at a very minute level. One other lobbyist at MML who I had a chat with said that they hadn't thought of that, but it's definitely a possibility. And when you're looking at a revenue shortfall of 2/3 of your state budget, you have to come up with that money somewhere. Offsetting it with an increase in anywhere from 5 to 7% in your sales taxes with your state is likely not going to cut it. So they're going to have to get it somewhere else.
That's a big bucket to pull from there.
And so sales taxes on real estate.
They'd increase it by 10%.
Well, I think your overall rate will go up to 10%, so that's like a 6% increase because the state sales taxes is 4.725.
Not what I read.
Huh?
It's not what I read.
Oh, they're going to add another 10% on top of that.
To equal the revenue they lose. Now, I guess they don't know, depends on how many other things they tax.
Well, yeah, wherever they spread it to, but they'll have,
Yeah,
they'll also,
but
they're
it's-
going to
they're
offset
getting
loss
crazy.
of the income.
I mean,
But if they offset, it's going to be on real estate taxes and that.
Possibly, no, I'm not saying it is,
How
but
can they
it's
do that?
possible.
I mean, Can they
It
do
is
that without a
possible.
public vote? Or
Yes, because they are also changing the so what's going to happen is this will go to a vote. We have a Hancock amendment in place. There will be a change to the Hancock amendment that will allow this phase out to occur without a vote. Your vote was to send your representatives to Jefferson City in this case.
If this moves the kind
Sorry,
of time frame you think, how long will this take? I mean, 5-year plan or?
Yeah, it's a 5-year phase out under the current bill.
31, I think.
Yeah, 5-year phase out.
They're talking about sales tax of, what I've read is 11 to 13% is what.
Don, that's definitely
That's the
possible.
state portion of
Absolutely.
Sales tax.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that will be on all services.
Yep.
Plumbers, electricians, surveyors, lawyers, everybody.
You are correct.
State's not gonna run on less money.
Cindy, I'll ask you 1,000 times, I think, on this, but you're up to speed on this. You think it's moving that direction? I mean, if you had to bet one way or another, you think this?
My bet is the fact that you've got the parties that are in control of your government right now all align. And so this is the governor's key priority is to eliminate the income tax, right? So I'm not taking a position, but the likelihood that this passes in some form is extraordinarily high. Just given the fact that, everybody's playing for the same team. The majority is playing for the same team.
Is there something to worry about?
I would worry about it. I would have drafted this and put it in front of you if I wasn't. Didn't think you guys shouldn't be thinking about it.
The only people this is going to benefit is the upper class.
I'm not taking
The lower
any
class,
opinion.
the middle class, the working class, they're going to all pay a higher percentage than what they're paying now. The only ones that are the upper class who are big contributors to politicians.
I would say the people on fixed incomes are definitely more damaged because the fact is they're going to get all these other taxes that because their state income tax is low.
Well, most of the seniors don't pay.
That's the point. I mean, it's no money coming out of that pocket. Right?
Does this one have to go to the voters?
There is part of it that has to go to the voters. Yes, correct.
Okay.
But not the entirety of this. Part of this can be achieved just by, as I said, you sent your representatives to Jefferson City. The adjustment to the Hancock Amendment, in part, has to go to the voters. It would put a referendum vote before the people on this. Yes, that is correct. But parts of this do not have to go to a vote.
I think if they do this and they raise the sales tax, the real implication to any local municipality is it's going to be almost impossible to raise any taxes yourself.
It already is very difficult.
It's already
Most people
difficult
don't want
now.
to raise anything.
It's going to be almost impossible.
How is anyone going to be able to afford to buy a home? I mean, unless you are a very wealthy.
It's
That
a
was
possibility.
speculation.
It is. I mean, it's not black and white.
That's a big bucket, though.
Like ABC 17.
It's open enough.
I thought
That's a big
I thought it already came out of
from
the
the
committee.
real estate.
I know it is. Huh?
And professional services.
Yeah, it's already, so it's been back on the House side, so it's moving to the Senate for a
Get
final
$300
vote, so
doctor bill.
it's
There's a
possible it can
10%
still be
tax on it.
changed
$30.
between.
They get a lot of voters on this deal. That's the.
Well,
Make
when
that happen.
we were there for our day,
Runs.
and who we talked with, spoke with, it sounds like it's got a lot of momentum.
It does.
To be quite honest with you, it's a for real deal. I mean, it's.
Now, there may be a group, and I don't have no idea who it will be, but I think it's fairly likely that somebody will try to put up a referendum that forces people to vote with people, like they've done with some other bills.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably out of bounds, but I'm gonna say this, the vote of the people and the will of the state seem to be very easily overturned by a legislature driven to do its own self-interest.
If Proposition A was passed,
How many states
and then the
are
House
involved?
bill, I forgot what the number was,
This
overrode.
is just Missouri.
Just
This is
Missouri.
Missouri. This is from Missouri. State of Missouri income tax.
Kansas did this a few years ago.
It had to roll it back.
It didn't fly for them.
No, they had to
They
roll
did
it
it.
back.
What have you
It
heard?
almost bankrupt the state.
Where are you at on
I think there was a legal
the personal property taxes? What are you hearing about that? Because that was a big topic too.
I mean, that's not been moving forward. I think if you ask the majority of people, personal property taxes is where they would like to see relief. However, because school districts' funding is so heavily tied to personal property taxes, you would have to find an alternative revenue stream for that. And so that's been the biggest problem moving personal property
Not
tax relief
personal
forward.
property, real estate.
I'm sorry, what?
Not personal property, real estate is a big factor.
But doesn't, yeah, I mean, what it is, but doesn't personal property taxes also
They-
partially go to the
Most of the
Yes.
personal,
To
most of your
schools,
personal property
Personal
tax goes
property
to the school.
and real estate are tied together, but real estate is by far
The bigger chunk.
Oh, if they go to that, yeah. If they go to doing that, it'll be a big deal.
Yeah, but still, I think if you take a look at the percentage of what you pay for personal property taxes, the bigger part of that pie does go to the schools, even if, real estate's the bigger.
The school is probably 80% of your
Right.
Yeah, if
of
you
your
look
real
at
estate
it.
personal property tax.
Right. All right.
So anyway, I just wanted to put this in front of you because I hadn't seen anything from MML come out about this. And in fact, I think MML's taking a neutral position on it.
I think they did send out
Have they recently?
their newsletter. It was either Thursday or Friday, and it was the first time I'd seen anything in there. But they did say that they were opposing.
Okay, so I think before I sent it to Tara, I hadn't seen anything yet. Hence the reason I was like, I want to get something out there, just looking at it from my perspective, because it had been raised about possibly putting out a resolution. And here's the facts and information as it currently stands today. This can change as it continues to be moved towards the governor.
Is there anything that we can do to reach out to them? And I know we can as individuals, but
Yeah, I would say that, at this point in time, contact your legislators, individuals, reach out to them and express. I mean, this is gonna hurt, public safety. It's gonna hurt your infrastructure and building roads. I mean, this is gonna cause you guys to make some very difficult choices, having to figure out what bucket. Okay, we got this bucket increased, but now we have to take from another bucket. What bucket are we gonna be taking from?
Our town and many towns that are equally as nice, and that's hard to find, I think, for a town our size in general, is it's going to change the way your town looks because the service is going to be able to be offered. You just won't be able to meet the budget. We have to meet a budget, and it'll be a cutting of it'll be dramatic in services and resources available to the citizens that we've grown to know.
And that's part of the reason we need this tax increase to go through, but many people are adamantly against it right now.
It's what it is. Now that we've talked about that and frightened ourselves enough that we is trying to leave the city or not going to sleep for a week. No, it's fine. It's what it is. I mean, I
appreciate the information.
No, it's great information. I think
Painful.
we're staying on top of it. I think really well. I just,
Any good news?
We're not
having a closed session.
We're not having closed session, and I'm at a point that I accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Have a first and second to adjourn.
All normally jumps at the second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you for the time.